Welcome to episode 6 of Thrive and Shine podcast. I have guest Coach Jay and I have Nick Baston. We're going to be talking about mental health and its effect on why we're not talking about it and how it's affecting us. So getting into it, how do you guys define mental health? You want to go?
Yeah, so basically your mind's fortitude and ability to cope through the different ups and downs of life while remaining sustainable and productive and as happy as you can.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to it's easy and both hard to define it. Like you can see it, but it's kind of hard to name what it is.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I was thinking it's harder to define it, but it's easy to track the progress of it.
For sure.
So you can see looking retroactive, before that was bad, and this bad is much better than that bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much on the same lines Jay said. Life isn't easy, right? For anyone, and it's pretty much how do you navigate the roller coaster of life and cope with the ups and downs in a proper way? Because obviously you have substances, addictive personalities. How do you cope with that in an appropriate manner that's not going to be maladaptive and set you on a trajectory backwards?
Yeah.
Essentially.
What do you guys do to improve your mental health?
I mean, to your point, as far as looking back and being oh, that was bad, I'd say most people have two, if not more, things that kind of ground them in their life. So prior, it was definitely sex, drugs, and alcohol. Those are my three grounding factors that kept me not so
the
much
Trinity.
Yeah, right.
The holy Trinity of bad mental health.
Yep.
And I mean, now I'd say it's definitely faith, family, and fitness, and those are what kind of
three good F's.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's grounds me, keeps me going, and just keeps me healthy.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much hit the nail on the head with the past. It's what it used to be. Alcohol, codependency. With females. Be that be it sex, be it just simply needing that security blanket, if you will, and alcohol massively. So and nowadays it's definitely fitness, if you will. Fitness is kind of a broad term. I would say just something an outlet, right, to have to be able to get into. It could be fitness for somebody. It could be art. It could be drawing. It could be whatever it may be. Just something that when you're doing it, nothing else really matters, right? So it would be fitness. Definitely, family, especially a future family, right? That's something that's super motivating me. And faith, which is kind of relative. Well, I've always been a believer, but faith has been a bigger part of my life in the past year and a half.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think meditation's great, but I think it's so easy but so hard to do. Tell me to sit still for 20 minutes and do nothing.
Yeah.
It's so easy, but it's so difficult at the same time.
Yep.
I feel how the world is today, everything is short-term content. You want to get the most swipes, you want to get the most retention on a short video. Nobody wants to watch a long-form video.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasts are becoming more popular. I think there's kind of going to be a switch in dynamics between short-form content to long-form content.
Yeah.
Because it was the other way, and everything comes back in style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think it's so important to have just slow down, reflect on yourself, which I think most people don't do. They don't they go to work, they go to the gym, or whatever they do. They go home, cook, eat, sleep. But they don't have any moments of reflecting, and thinking about your day, processing it.
Yeah. And I'm here to talk about meditation because I feel this is something that's not really, meditation doesn't need to be hey, let me sit on the ground and hold my hands up like this.
That's how I approach it.
Yeah,
when I first started.
Yeah, me too. I was I got to do this. I got to listen to meditation music.
Get my chakras right.
Yeah. Rub your belly. Let's get that going. But example for me, and my fiance can attest to this because sometimes ask me, hey, what are you doing? I'll lay on the couch, right, and just shut my brain off, right? I'll lay on the couch and that's my reflection of sitting with myself. And it can be different for anyone.
The key is not sleeping.
Yes.
Stay awake during the time.
There's a brain wavelength, and I can't remember exactly what it is that you can get into where your brain opens up and everything becomes more clear and calm, right?
But it's delta or theta.
It,
I could
I think it might be
don't
Delta.
quote me on that.
I feel like
I'm
it's.
quoting on it right now.
Yeah, yep. I'm going home and actually, as soon as we leave here.
If he's
I'm
wrong,
going-
everybody comment
yeah,
down.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, comment
Jay's
down
wrong.
below.
He doesn't know anything about
So this
sleep.
guy
Jay-
talking about.
Jay spinning, spreading false information.
It's gonna be like the clip though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna make a clip like,
Yeah.
oh, like he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about delta waves, obviously freaking gamma.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah. Something completely different.
Yeah. How do you think you know when you've like reached mental health?
Oh, bro, you don't.
Yeah.
You never
don't.
know.
Because
There's-
like
There's
like-
no like end
There's
point
no
where it's
end.
like I've reached or
Yeah.
I've arrived at mental health.
Yeah.
Like, dude, every
I've reached
single
my
day-
final form.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, man. Every day's I wouldn't say battle, but it's an intentional pursuit of that
Mhm.
equilibrium, I guess, and
Yeah.
however that looks in your life.
Yeah, I think it's funny how I asked us like all you guys like what you do for mental health, how we go about it, but none of us had therapy.
Yeah.
Because
Why do you think we didn't mention therapy?
Well-
I'm scared.
Yep.
No, I'm just kidding. I was, but I
Yeah.
actually started my mental health journey
Mm-hmm.
with therapy.
Yeah.
And my therapist was like, dude, go to the gym too. Like,
Yeah.
come to your sessions, we can talk, give you the tools to kind of help what you've been through, but like, take your ass to the gym,
Yeah.
dude.
Did you start like he's not gonna give me a crack? Like I'll see what he can do.
The
Were you,
thing
were you
is,
pretty
bro,
open to it in the beginning?
Well, yeah, because I had cracked by myself. Like, I was cracked all the way open. I guess, long story short, ended up like pushing everybody in my family away, including my wife, and was like just in this really messed up, hurt place. Super lonely, super dependent on drugs and stuff like that. And I was like, I mean, I don't really have anything to lose here. Like, my wife's gone.
Only
I'm
one way out.
drinking every single day. I'm not in the gym. I hate my job. Like, hopefully this dude does get me to crack. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see what happens. And it was one of the best decisions I've made in my life for sure.
Mhm.
And super big advocate for therapy.
Yeah, I actually have one scheduled this Friday. So yeah, probably something, a topic that needs to be talked about. It's not an end all be all, right? In my opinion, I think it's something that people need, right? Because again, especially on this topic of men's mental health, as a man, there's not a lot of people that I feel you can go talk to, right? Like personally, and then actually listen, and then like kind of take you seriously, if you will. So having that outlet as a third party, and I really feel like it really can be dependent on who the therapist is as well.
Mhm.
Like I've been through, I don't know how many you've seen. I've seen probably 5, 6, right, over the course of 7 years. I end up finding one that is kind of spoke my language, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, it's definitely super important. But just like you said, like one of the things your therapist told me, which mine did, like my first one did, I probably would still be with them. Like, go to the gym, right? Even though I was already in the gym, right? But not as consistently as I wanted to be. Like, it wasn't like we weren't combining all the mental health things that we need to do, right? Because it's just like going to the gym, right? If you're not doing the work on your mental health, right, it's the same thing. It's not. You're not gonna get better at it. You're just gonna be spinning your wheels. And I feel like therapy, right? A lot of people view it as like a one-time every 3 months or every 6
Mhm.
months ordeal. And just like if you go to the gym for one time every 3 months, every 6 months, it's not gonna stick, right? So it's there needs to be like a plan of action, right? And then execution. And so yeah. On the topic of therapy.
Yeah. If for those that don't have the money to go through a therapist or don't have a large social circle, how do you think they should approach finding therapy? Or because I think there are some affordable options, but odds are just someone trying to like churn through people, and not like someone's like wanting to help you, not for the money. So it's hard to find someone that's like there for you, not there for the money, or that wants to like actually solve your problem, not diagnose you, which is big controversy in both sides.
Yeah, for sure.
People either want to like, yep, you have this condition,
Yep.
your problem. Now you know your problem,
Yep.
but they didn't solve the problem.
Here's medicine, probably.
Yep.
Right.
You definitely have depression.
Yeah.
Here's some medicine.
Yeah.
Now, like, okay, you have depression. Let's solve this.
Yeah.
How can we work with this? Like,
Yeah,
it's
like talk to me.
two different like
Talk to
dynamics.
me.
Yeah.
That kind of-
Or look at your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
That's number.
what are you doing on a daily basis? Like, don't pump me full of drugs. And
Yeah.
maybe I should get some more sunlight. Maybe I should be more active. Look at what I'm eating. Like,
Yeah.
my social circle. Like, who am I surrounding myself
Mhm.
with?
Yeah.
Well, it's like doctors only have 2 weeks of nutrition classes in all of med school.
Dude, that is
Like-
insane.
Hey, this nutrition
Yeah.
like 101 and 2. It's like the most basic, like, you know.
It's more like nutritional deficiencies and then like diseases,
Yeah.
not like how to eat.
Yeah. Like foods,
Which
medicine.
is, yeah, it really is.
It really is. Yeah.
But it doesn't make them money, so that's a whole
It
other
really doesn't.
conversation.
Yeah. 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 They're not dietitians.
Big pharma.
Yeah.
We can get that.
We don't need
Let's
to do
just
all
say-
That's
that.
another episode.
Yeah,
another
that's a
episode.
whole
Big
nother,
pharma.
whole nother ball game.
Do you think, if we can get to like the stem or origin of like bad mental health, do you think it originates from like a multitude, like a lot of things, like one or two main sources? Because I was like just now thinking about it. It's maybe they don't have like specific goals, or they're not goal oriented, or they don't have like a purpose to say.
Mhm.
Do you think that there is some kind of origin that stems from like having bad mental health?
In terms of like, it's a good question. In terms of specific origin, I guess, and I've always believed this, right? And honestly, like, I still believe it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but how do you navigate that persona? Is like, if you look at from the origin of man, right? Like,
Mhm.
what is a man supposed to do? Like, in whatever tribe, whatever family, whatever situation you're in, right? A man is supposed to provide, right? He's supposed to protect. He's supposed to do all these things. He's supposed to be a rock, right? Essentially, not have any emotion, right? If you will. I don't mean not have emotion. I mean, like, you know, bear, like, I do feel a man has the ability to bear the burden of other people, right? But as time goes on, right, especially with social media, which obviously we'll get into in a second, you know, the what it is to be a man is changing, and it is becoming way more unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, so somebody who is starting to see all that, right? Like, well, we need to look at this guy. He has all this. He provides, you know, and like what, you know, in his eyes, in reality, like what does a woman want in a man? You think about that, and it's and this is just social, you know, media dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Money, cars, and all this, and like that's all that matters, right? And so it's like, and we're in a world that, you know, what it means to be a man is kind of unrealistic in terms of expectations, and that starts to get to you, right? And who do you reach out to for that, right? Who's going to listen to you about that? Who's going to, you know, it can't be a family member, right? It can't really be a friend, right? That's where therapists, right, come in, and that's where they answer your question back on where do you go if you don't have the money, right, for therapy, or you can't find mentors, right, are huge. Like, I can't tell you how many people out there who have been through that, who found that other side, who got better, who were in that dark spot, that will, and me being one of them, like, hey, Jay definitely being one of them, is we're willing to help you, and we're not going to charge anything, right, as long as you listen. Like, there's people out there that are willing to help. And then you got, you got Jordan Peterson, you got like all these now,
YouTube, internet.
yes, like you've got these,
ChatGPT.
yeah, you got these sources now that you can use, but it's hard to replace that physical interaction.
Yeah. Serious but jokingly, you could ask ChatGPT, how do I not be depressed?
Yeah.
And it will give you as many answers as you want,
Yep.
and like an infinite amount of answers. Like, oh, something different. Give me a different option.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I want another option.
And I mean, that's honestly a good point, because there
Yeah.
are so many different avenues to fix what
Yeah.
you have going on. And I think what causes some depression and anxiety is people try to put themselves in just talk therapy, or just the gym, or
Mhm.
just this. And in actuality, there's a big picture that needs to be looked at and kind of dissected and fixed that way, instead of just, you know, all right, well, let me do this, or
With
do
that,
this, and,
yeah.
you know?
It's like spread your cards.
Exactly.
Yeah, just doing
Yeah.
one thing is sort of like getting a drug for weight loss, right, or something like that. It's kind of like putting a Band-Aid over it, where you're kind of distracting yourself from the actual issue if you're not facing. And and trust me, until you get put in that spot where you have no choice to face it, like it's, I would much rather have people be able to face it and know how to face it before they get to that point, because it's a, because yeah, you know too, like once you hit that rock bottom is what they call it, like, you know, whether it's one time or two times, like you're forced to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, how do we get people and men to change before that point? Because it's a hard road.
Yeah.
It's a hard road.
When you're talking about the origin of mental health and where it stems from, I think a lot of things you're talking about was coming from like a traditional role a man should be playing in a family dynamic. And I think a lot of that, the origin of that would stem from like, I think lack of fulfillment. Like you want to be able to fulfill the needs of other people. You want to be able to, you know, please everybody. I think most guys are like a golden retriever. They want to please everybody at the same time,
Yeah.
but they don't please themselves.
Yeah.
So they have like that lack of fulfillment because they, you know, they're fulfilling everybody else's needs, but they never fill their own.
Right.
And I think that could be one of the many roots or origins of the mental health is lack of fulfillment.
100%.
And this kind of follows my next question is that we're very stubborn. Men are very stubborn. They think they don't need something, they need something, or they need something and they think they don't need it. It's always going back and forth. And I think they're stubborn to not fulfill themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for all of us and all the guys that are stubborn, how do you think you might approach that? You could even take it as like, say you have a client, but you're not coaching them on nutrition or training, whatever, and they're just really stubborn. How do you think you would go about addressing someone that's a guy that's really stubborn?
Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to the introspection that you were talking about in the beginning. Is like, so from a client perspective, one, dude, you hired a coach. Obviously, you need help, you know, and that's okay. That's cool. We all do. Like
Coaches have coaches. I say this all the time.
Coaches have coaches. Exactly. We need that.
Yeah.
So first realizing like, yo, I need help, and it's okay. There's actually strength in vulnerability. It's okay to admit that like I don't know what I'm doing here. Can someone guide me? So usually I approach those clients like, look, man, you say you want to look this way or do this or whatever. I know how to get you there. Like, just trust me. You know. So building that trust goes a long way. As far as the stubborn part,
You think it comes from ego?
yeah, for sure it comes, from men's ego. And for me, the way that I kind of like get that back in line is my family. Like, I have two sons that are looking up to me and a wife that will check me daily. Both of you having fiancés now, the best part about marriage, guys, is like, it's a reflection of you. You know, like a lot of people where it doesn't work or they don't like their partner anymore. It's not their partner. It's your inability to want to change, to address those demons, those issues, those obstacles that are holding you back emotionally, spiritually, financially. So for me, my biggest, I guess, superpower, me being stubborn, my wife will tell you I still am. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's that daily reflection of how are my actions affecting directly the people around me, and how can I make their lives better, and in turn, you know, mine.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Wim Hof, but he always says, no ego, we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel that. I
Yeah.
feel that.
I like that. It's great. It's simple. Like,
It is.
Yeah.
It
no
is.
ego, we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like in camaraderie.
And it's hard, dude, because like as a man, you, especially building a business and being the leader of your family, you have to have a sense of confidence and a little bit of ego to tap into
Got
to get you to those places. So learning when to turn it on and turn it off, to lead from the back, to accept help. It's all a juggle that, you know, is kind of dependent on each person.
How do you think you should take the first step towards mental health?
I'll let you take the first step with this question.
Yeah. So you mean like, hey, like someone's like they admit, hey, I need help.
You're like, okay, I need help. How do I take the first step? Because I think it's a great analogy is penguins jumping in the water.
Yeah.
Like they're all waiting for the first one. Once you take the first step, I think the rest kind of you get momentum.
Yeah.
But taking that first step is the hardest step. All the other steps are easy.
It
If you can get in the car, you'll go to the gym.
Right.
But getting into the car is the hard part.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why you chug a pre-workout before you get
Yeah.
You get itchy. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
He's like, I gotta do something with
I
this.
don't-
Yeah. Because then you're wasting the pre-workout.
Right.
So you like
At that
have
point,
to
you're
go.
committed.
Yeah. like definitely it would be like, you know, anything you can do to like, especially from my past, I'm a full believer in anything that can plant a seed in your head, right? Like, you know, like a lot of people, I think, like some therapy doesn't help. A lot of people think like, oh, I watched a YouTube video on something that didn't help, didn't change me. It might not change you right away, but one of the things it's doing is putting a seed into your brain, right? Like it is to allow things to grow, and compoundedly as you continue to do things, it grows and grows and grows in multiple different aspects. So it could be something as simple as looking up, you know, watching somebody that you look up to and actually admire. And no, I'm not talking about a rapper. I'm not talking about like, you know, a celebrity necessarily, right? But someone that you look, it could be a family member that you're like, that is an amazing guy. I want to be.
You
like
admire
him.
regardless of their status.
Yeah. You admire who they are, their values, and their integrity. And you start thinking, what does he do that I'm not doing, right? You know, something as simple as that, where something will come to realization, right? To where like, okay, I need to change, right? Because I'm not doing those things. Or one of the things, it's baby steps, right? Like that you're not going to tackle your mental health right away with one single therapy session, one single reflection. It takes work, and for some people like me, I scheduled you know how hard it was for me to schedule my first therapy session. Well, because that's a mission, right?
Sure.
That's a mission fully.
Yeah.
I need help, and what put me in that situation is both, you know, alcohol and my decisions that alcohol led me to do that made me reflect on myself, saying, why the hell did I do that? You know.
It's like putting stuff in your Amazon cart.
Yeah.
It's like you pile it up and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to buy it? Like, I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah. And it was like, you know, why did I make those decisions? But it's not the man I know I am. It's not the man I think I am. And that's something a lot of men need to realize is your decisions you've made in the past do not dictate who you are. It's like what the decisions you make now and what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I scheduled a therapy session. I remember my first session, and I was like, why did I cheat on my, you know, the girl that I loved the most in the whole world at the time? Like, why did I do that, right? I literally wanted to know, because I didn't know. I was like, what the heck? And now I do, but it's like, so that is what drove me. So something as simple as scheduling a therapy session. Even if you don't go, screw it, schedule it. Schedule it, right?
Yeah. It's like, I think the saying is the person I was today reflect who I want to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You
Like,
gotta be true to yourself.
For sure.
Yeah, you can start a completely new completely new you, right? Which is going to be a lot of work, and the repercussions of your actions may still dwindle, but when people still, and I'm talking about others' views of you, right? Those dwindle once they see what you're doing and how you're, you know, progressing in your life. Like it starts like, oh, I don't like Nick, or I don't like Jay because you used to do this and used to do that. Once you show them that, oh, I'm no longer. And you show them through action too, not this, not this, and then that goes away real quick. Actually, it's not permanent. But yeah, to answer your question without a long drawn out answer, just
It's a podcast. You can
yeah,
buy that.
yeah. Just do something, right? Like plant a seed, right? Plant a seed. Have some kind of a mission. That's it. Have some kind of a mission that you need help, even if it's just in your head, and like that's a step.
Yeah.
Sure. I think that the scope of mental health is so big that first step can look a lot different from different people.
Yeah.
Like I used to be a mental health and rehab counselor, so like I'd have clients that were struggling with schizophrenia, and I'd have clients that were just a little sad. And obviously that's to be funny. They're struggling with depression, but like the range is insane, you know. So if you're hearing voices, go get help immediately.
That's
If you are struggling because you're feeling depressed or anxious, you know, a lot of times it can be fixed in other ways. Like for men specifically, anxiety, at least in my life, can show up as like me not living up to my potential for that day, or working as hard as I can. I'm not like grinding it out type of work, but like not slacking off and trying to live up to that man in my head that I want to be, you know. With depression, go outside, move, eat right, you know. And yeah, there's a time and place for therapy, 100%. You're a big advocate for it, but there's so many different steps that you can take just to get the ball rolling. To your point,
It's a large spectrum.
Yeah, large spectrum. So you really have to be honest with yourself and where you're at. You know, like stop lying to yourself. Look yourself in the mirror. Like, what is going wrong? Why am I acting this way? And how's it affecting the people around me? And I think as a man, it's one of the most important impacts that we have. It's like we have a direct impact on the people around us, emotionally, safety. You know, a lot of issues in our society do come from us not being honest with ourselves and not living with integrity and character and things like that. So
Massively.
yeah, you know. So I think attacking stuff like that can not only help our individual mental health, but just our mental health as a society in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you said about the mirror because that's one of the things that took me forever. And I think David Goggins.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, it is very
To
hard
literally
to
look
do.
yourself in the mirror.
Like, it is,
Look yourself in the eye and
actually,
be like,
actually, like not shirtless, not like whatever. Don't look at my body.
Heading poses.
Look, literally, yeah, look at literally.
you're just sitting there front relaxed.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little different. Like, damn.
Oh yeah, I walked in here to tell myself I'm an idiot.
That didn't work out, and I ended up sending you, pictures like Jordan.
I'm like,
fixed this. Look,
babe, I'm gonna go look in the mirror right now. Tell myself how much of an idiot I am.
Yeah.
I come back 10 minutes later. So what'd you say? Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I had a great pump and
I
then
got
I got distracted.
That's how affirmations work, right?
Exactly.
That's how it's supposed to go.
Exactly. But like I remember like legit because I remember I read David Goggins' "Can't Hurt Me." I listened to it like 4 times too, and like it is hard to do. Like looking at like if you're not happy with yourself, like looking in the mirror, like and just like he calls it the accountability mirror, and it's so cheesy when you think about it. But if you can't look at yourself in the mirror, it's the same thing as if you can't sit down and be in your head. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just this is a visual. And it's like, then I remember like looking at myself and I couldn't look at myself, right? And it was like, okay, that's not a good sign, right? Of something needs to change. But yeah, like I remember David Goggins saying that, and I know he's like, he's here, right? Which he needs to be. This is, look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah. And if you're not happy with what you see, one of the things that I did is I made a list of the attributes and qualities that I wanted to see in a man, because not everybody has the best example or we're taught the best tools. So sometimes you gotta do it yourself. So I made a list basically of how I wanted to move in the world and how I wanted that to impact other people. And just made a conscious decision to make choices from that list daily. Not like, what would Jay do right now is who he is right now, because that guy will function.
Yep.
But how would he make a decision being that man, And over time, my life just really started to, there's a lot of other things involved, but I'd say that was one of the things that really helped take me just to a different level.
Yeah, setting those goals is so important.
Yeah.
And it made me think about this quote I just read, I think 2 days ago. I hope I don't butcher this. It's more of a story. That there's this master. He has 3 sons. He wants to teach them how to be better at archery. So he takes them out to the lake. He's in the woods. He ties this wooden fish with a wooden eye up in a tree. He tells the three boys, "You're going to shoot the fish while looking at the reflection in the lake." The oldest son goes first, and he says, "What do you see?" Say, "I see the sky, I see the tree, I see the branches, I see the fish." Say, "Okay, shoot." He shoots and he misses. The second boy goes. He's like, "Okay, what do you see?" He said, "I see the tree, the branches, some twigs, some leaves, and I see the fish." He's like, "Okay, shoot." He misses. The youngest son, he says, the master says, "What do you see?" He says, "I see the fish's eye." He says, "Shoot." And he hits it right in the eye. The master says, "You can't be distracted by the branches. You can't be distracted by what's around you. You need to be focused on the goal." And like, right then I was like, perfect. Like, you can't be distracted by all the things that are branching off from your main goal. You need to stay like on the goal, mindset, like this is the goal. I am like tunnel vision. This is where I'm headed. Now, like all these branches here, but there's like, this is over here, and they see the big picture. Like, you need to see your goal and like head to that goal, not looking at things around you.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. And like to that, and just like what you said, like one of the things I changed, like when I, a year ago when I was like, hey, something needs to freaking change, was like virtually living like every decision I'm making. It's not like purposeful, but and it's not like, is this going to help? Is this going to lead me to my goal? Which, we all have business goals. We all have marriage goals. We all have, it's, you don't have to think of it like that. It's, is this decision, me about to make this decision, in line with the man I want to be,
Right.
right? And
Mhm.
that alone will get you to virtually whatever goal you want at the end of the day. And no, that was a good analogy. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Never actually heard that.
There you go.
And I'm a fisherman, so I mean,
Were you?
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, I'm trying to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, let's go.
I'm so down.
I tell myself
I moved to
every-
Ohio. I'm down to do like some country stuff.
Yeah.
I pulled up.
Well, now you're in Kentucky.
I was like, yo, where in the bluegrass am I right
Yeah,
now? Like, some back road, but
Have you fished?
I'm
before?
here for it.
I got it. I got it. No, I understand. Yeah.
If you guys want to, we can go ahead and answer some of our follower questions.
Let's do it.
All right. So if you guys don't know, these are questions that were sent by followers for us to ask or answer on the podcast. So the first one, it's a long one. I see more and more influencers that push a mindset that focuses on fitness and health, and it makes you inherently better than others. But reality, all I've seen is it has made people less accountable and more narcissistic. This could correlate to the lack of empathy in society. The question is, do you think the explosion of belittlement of others in order to motivate is actually a net positive to our society? And one of the things I was thinking about is a lot of people do reaction videos about bad advice, and they're looking for any mistake anybody can make. You go on Instagram, and they'll take a clip of someone's video where the whole video, I say 90% good, but that 10% they're like, this is where, and they only show the 10% it's wrong. I think it's good to hold people accountable for doing things that are wrong, because maybe it'd be better to like message them personally, hey, maybe you should try this, maybe a little differently, it might help more.
Yeah.
But on the same side, displaying it shows people, oh, like I don't want to do that next time. But it could also make that person feel really bad. Maybe they should have like, hey, do you care if I do a video on this? I don't want to hurt your feelings. I want to do like instructive, and that'd be like the best way to approach that.
Yeah.
Does anybody do that? Probably not.
Definitely not.
No. And I think this
Yeah.
leans big time to, oh, sorry, was that the question?
I answered the question. It was about belittlement and if it's a net positive or not. I think it could be a net positive, but I
If
think
it's
the
done
vast
right.
majority might not be.
Yeah, and I think all this stems from, especially like the internet trolls, if you will. Like, it all boils down to, again, everybody wants to be valuable, right? Everybody wants to be viewed as like knowledgeable. Everybody wants to be viewed as like a really good tool. Like, yeah, I'm contributing, but unfortunately, instead of contributing the right way, it's let me, just like you said, take one thing from someone's video clip that is not even the majority of their clip and dogging them so I can gain credibility when that's not the correct way to be doing it. But it all boils down to the same thing.
Yeah. Next question is medication versus meditation.
I like that.
One of the stats I have is that SSRIs are less effective than fitness. Exercising is more effective than SSRIs, vice versa. And I think most people don't get prescribed fitness. I don't know if you know this, but a doctor can legally prescribe you a gym membership, and insurance will pay for the gym membership.
Wow.
And
Do
equipment
that.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But
I've
not,
heard a lot of disappointing things, but
Not
I
helpful,
feel like
yeah.
that really
But-
rocked me to my
A
career.
doctor can write a prescription to a gym membership, and the insurance will pay for the membership.
Yep.
If they
Yep.
write the membership,
Yep, JW.
you can get a free membership. I know Casey and Callie Means talk about this a little bit.
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. Like there's certain gyms around here that are like popular that literally like corporations like, oh, you go to the gym, we pay for it, and like, oh, and we'll make your insurance cheaper, and like anything, like all of that. So it's out there, just no one
Yeah.
realizes it.
Obviously, in some cases, medication is needed, like maybe bipolar, schizophrenia,
100%.
whatever it is. But I think for the vast majority, people are they're given medication when it's not fully necessary.
Yeah.
When they could go to the gym, they could do meditation, they could have a better friend, family, social circle. A lot of times, people around you affect how you are. So if you have a bad friend group, odds are you're also going to be kind of bad. If you have great people surrounding you that bring you up, you're going to be more like them. So it could be, psychiatrist, whatever it is. Maybe you need to change friends. Maybe you need to do more exercise. Maybe you need to do this.
Yeah.
But rather, it's like, okay, here's, some medication.
Yeah. To your point, when I was in the Navy, it was like towards the end when I was getting out, they diagnosed me with bipolar 2, and I was super scared. It does run in my family. So I was dealing with that for years, like these super manic episodes of like being really depressed and just kind of all over the place. And then once everything kind of hit the fan, and I went to therapy and started that process, started changing at 8, who I surrounded myself with, getting into the gym, having faith as a foundation to my life. I asked my therapist, I was like, so, like, what's up? Like, what's going on here?
I'm chilling right now.
Yeah, like, I feel great.
What are you talking
like,
about?
What's up?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, you just needed to talk to somebody and change your life. Like, I'm not here to, like, you know, talk bad about anybody, but I think the doctor, misdiagnosed you. I was like, yeah, me too, man. Me too.
Yeah.
I'm really happy I didn't take medication.
Probably relieved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Next question is how to adjust being a new father, having a 9 to 5, 40 to 50 hours work week, train and meal plan. One of the thoughts I gave, this is one of your follower questions, is I said control what you can, time management. Meal prepping is saving you time, and look at the blessings you have. You're a father, you have a job that helps you take care of your family, etc. I think a lot of times people say like, I have to go to work. Like, you get to go to work.
Yeah.
Or like, I have to go and take care of my kid right now. Like, no, you get to. Like, you have a family. Like, it's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
you have a great job that's providing for your family. Like, I think a lot of times people underappreciate what they have.
100%.
You could have cancer. You could be, not have a wife. You could be on your deathbed. You could have all your family dead. Like, there's so many worse things. You could be put in, the middle of nowhere, Africa, with no food, no supplies, but like, you're in a great place.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times it's taken for granted. Like, your bad is not that bad.
Yeah.
I know it's your follow-up question, so you can add anything to that if you want.
So basically for me, yes, perspective, 100%. That's can almost fix a lot of issues that we have. But also habit stacking. So like, I post every day about basically my day, like taking care of my kids, working, going to the gym, meal prepping. It's basically all I post. So when you see it, it's like, oh my goodness, this looks hectic. This is crazy. This guy's a superhero, but not at all. It started small. It started meal prepping, started going to the gym. Then I had kids. I mean, I was married, but then I had kids, whatever. So it all compounded on each other. So a lot of times people will be like, all right, I want to get in shape. I want to look like Jay. I need to do all these things to make it happen. And in reality, you need to start small. You need to start with just meal prepping. Then go to the gym, then be more leaned in as a father, or however that priority looks. It's not an all at once type of thing. It's something that you need to take slowly. Otherwise, you burn out and you'll just start and stop, and kind of have that yo-yo process. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going because even the whole get to perspective, I was in the kitchen the other day, and we just had our son, and usually I prep just for the day. So I'll make like my 4 or 5 meals just for the day and do it every day. Now I'm starting to do like 3 or 4 days, and I'm in there, I'm slaving over the kitchen, and I'm over here trying to get the Brussels sprouts, I'm over here trying to get the chicken and all this crazy stuff. I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting like annoyed and a little bit angry. And my wife is on the steps holding her son, and my other son, Zay, is kind of running around the kitchen with me. And I stopped for a second, and I'm like, I looked at my wife, I was like, yo, I really had to catch myself just now. Like, there's so much to be grateful for. I was like, do you remember like 4 or 5 years ago when we didn't even know where our next meal was coming from?
Right.
And now I'm over here complaining.
You're in a house, beautiful kids.
Beautiful wife, beautiful kids, a fridge 2-packed, and I'm over here complaining, that I'm meal prepping. But 5 years ago, I was lucky to have like some drumsticks, which me, my wife, and my dog were eating, So it's all, like you said, it's perspective for sure. And that whole get to, and gratitude invites so much blessings into your life. I'm a big believer of like, why would God give you more if you're not grateful for what you have now? If you're constantly complaining about this, that, like, as a parent, when my son is like really thankful for something, I'm like, dude, let me hook you up with some more stuff. Like, bro, you're smiling, you're happy, like, let's do this. If you're crying and you're like always begrudgingly like doing stuff, it's like, God is not going to be like, all right, let me give this guy more stuff, because you can't handle what you have. You're not thankful for what you have. So changing that perspective just opens the door to so much. And back to mental health, it helps with that as well. Obviously, we're not scientifically out here measuring vibrations and stuff, It's kind of
Yeah.
considered pseudoscience, but there's a lot of studies that show,
There's a lot.
a lot of studies
A
that
lot.
show, you know.
A lot. That'd be, yeah. Go ahead. No, I can talk all day
Oh
about
no,
that. too.
you're good. One of my favorite dudes, Dr. Joe Dispenza,
Yeah.
goes
yeah.
in on that a lot as far
Yeah.
as like the frequency that you're vibrating
Yeah.
on, and how that just attracts more and stuff like that. And I feel like our generation got it wrong for a little bit as far as the law of attraction and just being like, okay, I want a car,
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
a house, I want
Yeah.
a great body. Like you definitely need to be resonating on a certain level, and
It's
your actions need to back
frequency.
it. But it's all frequency.
It's all
for
about
sure.
what
Staying
you
focused on the goal.
Like even
Yeah.
down, because I'm a nerd, man. When things like quantum mechanics, quantum physics, all that
Yes.
kind of stuff, like string theory. I mean, this is like combining like legit scientific theories with scientists.
I'm convinced string theory is the law.
Me
I don't
too.
care.
But there's a reason you got like this, this frequency of a string that is making up everything in the
Mhm.
whole world. And trust me, I have my own run-ins. I can talk all day about it in terms of like there is a certain vibration, there's a certain energy that you have, and you just maintain that energy no matter what. Things just come to you in abundance,
Mhm.
right? It doesn't have to be just money, but yes, money, like or just your career choices, or your happiness, or just your mental well-being. It is so important. And I'll tell you sometime about one of my experiences. It's crazy. But yeah, like you have to vibrate on that frequency, and one of the worst vibrations is that anger, is
Yeah.
that impulsiveness. It's the same thing, like, example, when you lash out to your girl or your kid or a family member, and you knew like it's just
You're
you're
like,
not,
I didn't mean that.
you're not in the correct wavelength to think clearly about anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like that's just such a good point to bring that up, actually.
Next question is men going through the motions of life versus living with a purpose and finding meaning. Not technically a question, but I'm guessing it's how to not go through the motions of life.
Yeah, I mean that will solve your anxiety right there. I
Yeah.
feel like going through the motions is the worst thing that you can do.
Yep. You can't just be along for the ride. You gotta enjoy the ride because life's a journey, right? Just like it's ever changing. It's never going to be stagnant ever, right? Like, and that's the thing. People like chase this like ultimate happiness, right?
Mhm.
Where it's like this end goal, and it's
Mhm.
never like the goal that is life and enjoyable. It's that process. So just riding through doesn't really do anything for you.
Right.
And
And so if you're going to a theme park, would you want to ride a ride that goes like this or like this?
Right.
yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take the bullet and you're gonna have downs with ups,
You
but
can't-
it makes
you
the
can't-
ups so much more worth
You
it.
can't. You literally cannot have ups without downs. Like it's impossible, right? Like our whole bodies are dopamine dependent,
Yeah.
right? So it's like if you don't have a down,
Mhm.
there is no up.
Yeah.
But it's like how are you handling that down is the question. Like are you viewing it as, oh, woe is me, I am in the gutter, or why is this happening to me? Or is it like, oh, okay, let me fix that,
Yeah.
or oh, okay, that that sucks, that sucks. Like I used to be that person that I could stub my toe and I'd be pissed for like 4 hours. It's like something so silly, and it's how you mental health. Very first question: how do you ride that roller coaster of life, right?
Yeah.
And that's a
Strap in.
I feel like for that question, though, like just moving along and then switching to moving with purpose, goes back to introspection. Like a lot of times, we'll just get a job to pay the bills or to take care of the family, and that's noble. It really is. I'm not trying to take away from anybody that does that, but the presence that you're going to be able to give your family, your community, your church, your gym, whatever, is going to be highly diminished because you're not living in your purpose or living in any type of passion. So ask yourself, what do I like to do? What brings me joy and what brings joy to people around me? How can I tie those together?
Mhm.
And I think that is how people can find their purpose.
yeah. Like I have been let go of jobs before, things that are way out of my circumstance, of jobs that I hated, and that like relief that I had. Like,
Yeah.
even though I knew I was going to go through like a financial hardship, I knew like the hell that was about to come. But for some reason, it was like the most relaxed I'd been for a long time,
Yeah.
right? And it's the same thing. Like when I first, like I was a broker, right? Like I was the number one salesperson at an $18 million company, right? Making money, but I'm so unhappy. And it wasn't until like I quit my job to start a business, right? That was going to be booming. COVID happened, right? And that like destroyed me. But like now that I'm at a job that I remember telling my fiance, right? I'm maybe a fraction of what it used to me, but I remember telling my fiance, like, I cannot believe this is a job. Like, this doesn't feel like a job, right? And it's just like that stress. So to your guys' point, like, it's almost like I challenge you. What makes you happy? Go do that, right? Like, go do that. Like, because I'm sure if you're at a job that you hate, I'm sure you can go get another one. Right?
And money will always follow.
It does.
Do not chase money in hopes that that's going to make you happy. Chase your passion and what brings
If you
you
make
joy.
money along the way, then
that's
we
a
only got
plus.
one shot at this, and yes, as a man, providing security, all that stuff is very important. Not to take away from that, but if you're blessed enough to figure out a way to do both, you're unstoppable.
Yep. You'd be shocked of what you can actually, and like example, Alex Ramosi has like this 10x thing that there's actually way more you can do, right? Back to like your habit stacking, it's sort of the same thing. Like I'm going to use a billionaire as an example, but he's a billionaire probably because he loves what he does. Odds are, right? He might be a little over the top about it, but I remember seeing Ken Oaks, the owner, the richest person in Ohio, the owner of the company, the brokerage firm, seeing how proficient and how much stuff he would get done like in an hour was more than I would get done in a weekend, right? But like, so doing a job that you're going to like love is going to allow you to like habit stack. It's going to allow you to get more efficient. It's going to allow you to get better at your craft. And it's probably going to lead you in a much better place in a year or 2 years than where you're stuck at, miserable, and making your life and probably everybody's life around you miserable.
Our next question is about PTSD, anxiety, and failure. That's to you.
Yeah. This is I think this is so let's talk. I think the same person mentioned military in another question, right? And I think all this ties together. So, again, like what is, and I don't mean this in a bad way to anybody who's serving. I was going to go in the military multiple times. Like even during COVID, I retook my ASVAB. I was like, I'm going.
I'm in.
Right. Well, it's something I've always wanted. I was on ROTC 4 years, but like a lot, and I think you might be able to agree with this. Like, a lot of times military it's that ultimate masculinity, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to fight for my country. I'm a badass. I'm the man. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like, what that can entail, especially when you come back, right? And like you don't have that military anymore because it's all too often. It's like, what do I do that can be close to that, right? And I feel like that's where a lot like the PTSD can come in. Kind of answered that wrong.
Yeah, is the risk worth the reward?
I think so. But how do you deal with it? Like one of my biggest regrets, not going to the military. Like I really wish I would have just did it, but my first time.
It's not that cool.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but like I just like you, like I don't do anything small. So like I was gonna go to the military. Being Green Beret was my first.
Oh my goodness,
I took 2 languages in high school because I was like wanting to. I was like, you got to do that to be a Green Beret. Like you got to do that, and then like second time, like I was already like I was cold plunging. I was swimming in ponds when it was cold because I was like Navy SEAL. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do, right? Because I can't do anything small. And so, but again, like it's, I feel like the military is a very good outlet for people, right? With,
who have no direction and need a direction.
Exactly. But that boils down to what do men need outside of the military, who aren't in the military. It's structure, right? I mean, there's even stories about people who want to go to jail and prison because of the structure it provides, right? So
Dream out till we cut.
Exactly. So like going back to what you were saying about like, don't do one thing. It's all these small things that you got to do, and why that helps is it provides that structure. I remember I talked to a client today, and she was, she could have a potential knee plaque. She was a hot mess, right? Because her life's a mess right now, right? When life is chaotic, she can't grip a hold of herself and do anything, and it's like structure is key in that, and I feel like that's one of the things the military can do. And then PTSD, that's speaking of men's mental health, because PTSD, a lot of people just simply relate that, like I got diagnosed with it, right? I was never in the military. But how I grew up, my childhood, right? Like PTSD is a bigger topic than just military, right? So it's like, but then how, especially as a man, how do you deal with that? right? And it's because you're looking at a day-to-day life of what men are. How do you handle that pressure, right? When you have that PTSD, which I think is like such a broad, diagnosis, right? And but again, it's just structure. They put different kind of structure that you're going to need to get into. And what you were saying with gratitude, man, like I cannot stress that enough. Like when you start putting other people first, right, in regards to like your feelings, like thankfulness, right, and like service of others, right, like people in need. That alone helped me like get out of my head, see like what actually what actually makes you genuinely happy. And that's something I feel I don't care what kind of person you are, and you could be the worst person in the world, a murderer, a thief, whatever, and but that feeling of doing things for other people will always be there, and nothing can replace that. So I feel like in regards to PTSD, all of that, I dare you to be of service of others how you can be, and that'll just provide a purpose, which is one of the things men's mental health is desperately searching for. But gratitude's my mentor. That's what he taught me, and it's probably changed my way of living.
We're going to wrap it up here. So if you guys made it this far, thank you for listening, and thank you guys for coming on the podcast. Hope you had a good time.
Absolutely.
Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you have any suggestions, make sure you comment down below, and we'll do that for the next episode. Right? Thank you.